Hello and welcome back to Brands Hatch on Motorsport UK, our third and final programme of the opening event of the 2019 racing season. Single-seaters and sports cars for you today. The single-seaters later on, the F4 British Championship, they contest round 3. First of all though, our first glimpse for 2019 of the Ginetta GT4 Super Cup. Joining me in the commentary box to call the action is Paul O'Neill. Let's take a look at how they line up for our third race of the weekend. Will Burns on pole from Tom Hibbert, Mike Epps and Reece Summerfield on row 2, then Harry King and Carl Shield on row 3. Finn Green makes the move up from juniors. He's next from Simon Rudd and Tom Barley. The AM-class pole with returnee Paul Taylor, Lucky Carer and Jack Oliphant on row 6. Dan Kirby with Nathan Heathcote on row 7. Then it's Lee Frost and James Kell, Carl Garnett and Peter Bassel on row 9. The grid completed by Darren Lewis and the perennial Colin White. Lights are on for round 3 of the championship. Championship leader is the yellow and black car. A good start by Reece Summerfield, who goes from 4th into 3rd, and he's challenging on the inside line of Tom Hibbert, but it was a good start from Will Burns to go into paddock. Now Summerfield goes up into 2nd place. A little bit of argy-bargy as they go through Paddock Hill Bend and up Halewards, but it's Burns clear. Summerfield, the round 1 winner, in the lead, but has he got a problem? Runs wide, coming under pressure as they come out of Druids, but still there at the moment with Mike Epps right behind him. Then Harry King up to 4th, Carl Shield in red, and then the blue car following him of Finn Green. But on the whole, pretty good start from a big field.
Yeah, great stuff from a big field. Look at these guys having a right old battle as they go into clearways. But going back to what you said, Richard, great start. And you can see Will Burns has just powered off into the lead. But all these difficult cars, you can see Harry King now is having Michael Epps. He's done him. He's up
to 3rd already, isn't he, Harry King? Championship. So King and Summerfield, 2 cars, well, 1 car just out of the shot, 1 and 2 in the championship. Mike Epps loves this car, having moved over from Clio. Remember, he's a Renault driver, touring car driver as well, so lots of experience in different cars. And challenging him now is the red car of Carl Shield, who's having a 2-car team now for AK Automotive. Carl Shield with Carl Garnett, or Alf as you called him earlier on.
Alf Garnett.
And he's a good lad out of Mazda Racing. I think he raced with him in the Mazda Super Cup.
That's right, yeah, some good guys coming
Did it go
through.
well?
Really good, yeah, really good. It's difficult, like you say, but this it's a great breeding ground. All these championships, you know, putting you into something that's got aero, as Carl Shield just starts to run a bit wide in that red 99. And yeah, these guys learning all the time, and it's probably the driest proper track they've had to actually run on. It's always been a bit misty, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right.
It's looking good. They're looking good. They're getting their way round.
Here comes Finn Green. Look at this move by Green, the former junior. He's by far the youngest man in the field, and we're going to look at Shield trying to go back up the inside line. Nothing doing there, but Finn Green was originally, you might remember if you read your press report, slated to be racing at Carling in F4, but he did some testing in single-seaters and decided, you know what, I think I fancy a roof over my head as Hibbert's trying to get back and tags the back end. Carl Shield not having any luck this weekend. Had on a very slippery race 1, went out with his teammate who was coming through. I said the AM-class drivers had more grip, but problem there for Tom Hibbert, not the start to the season he wanted again. Remember, we saw him at the start of last year, then he went away to regroup. I hope that doesn't happen this year. I'd love to see him racing because he's very quick indeed. Colin White making ground there through on the inside line. So Colin coming up through from the back of the grid. The 42 car there is Simon Rudd, former Brit car front runner. Peter Bassel is one to watch out for as well in the black and yellow car towards the back. Also running in Brit car with the Ginetta Junior graduate from last year. But here we come up into Druids once again, and it's still Will Burns out front. And good to see another Oliphant, Jack Oliphant there with the purple livery on the car, running in the AM class. So obviously plenty of experience. The Oliphant family runs a little bit wide. The 42 car of Simon Rudd goes through on the inside line. Then it's Lee Frost through on the inside, makes up a position as well over Oliphant. Frost having a good run. He's currently 5th in the amateur class standings. And nasty hit there for the number 6 car of Dan Kirby. The Trade Price Cars boss is out. That's got to be a safety car, Paul.
Yeah, definitely. That car won't be moved anytime soon. Just caught his left front on the grass as he braked for clearways, and that was it. Game over. Wet grass and then a cold slick tyre, and then all 4 wheels off. That was quite a big hit, that. I would say that was definitely a safety car. There's no way that's going to get going. He's out. That's great news.
That is good news, yeah. Thankfully, Out Marshall was on the scene very quickly indeed. Damaged front end, game over. Sadly for Dan Kirby, who was actually running effectively joint third in the championship. We've got joint leaders, Nathan Heathcote and Darren Lewis in the amateur class.
Safety car now then,
yep.
So
As
the guys
predicted.
will be slowing it right down, and yeah, so they'll all get back into position and they won't have any gaps there. So that was a real big effort. That was a big shunt, but fair play, he's out the car.
Absolutely right. Epps goes through. Little problem there for Jack Oliphant, Century Motorsport car across the grass.
Yeah, so you can see he's just starting to break around the outside, but then catches a wheel front left and straight into the barrier, and again took a lot of energy out the car. But to be fair, it looked a lot bigger as it was going off, and them tyres have done us a favour there and not done him too much damage. Do you know what? There was no touch. No, I don't think there was a touch.
Oh, there's the contact. That's what took him out.
That's a real shame, you know that, because it's as if they've been watching the touring car passes that Ash Sutton's been putting on people. Because Graham Hill Bend isn't a place that you would ever pass, because that always happens. But look, is it a bit greasy down there? Yeah, it's a bit greasy down there, and he's locked the right front. It's a bit tight to be. It's a bit tight to be looking at that move, and I think if I was Carl, I'd be a bit like, I would be a bit annoyed at that. But to be fair. Oh, okay, right, we've got an overtake under yellows. Harry King on Reese Sommerfield. Okay, so the yellows were out there for Dan Kirby's car.
I think he rectified that, though.
Oh, no, yeah, he has. He's backed off. He's seen
he
it.
rectified it. Yeah, fair play, Harry King.
That's
well
brilliant.
Done. Well
so
spotted.
You can be so unsighted when you're under yellows. Safety car lights are out, Richard. We're going to go for it, mate.
So, let's get ready then for the restart of our third round of the Super Cup here at Brands Hatch. Will Burns, I tell you what, this is a perfect opportunity for him to grab some points. Harry King will want to get a double out of this weekend. So too will Reece Summerfield in the green, orange and white car in second position. Reece was only his second career win, I believe, yesterday. It's hard to believe that. He's such a great driver and a good character. Had a little bit more than his vest on this weekend because it was chilly here, but look at Harry King looking up the inside line already. They can't make a move until they're past the start-finish line. Will Burns gets away well, might well benefit here from the fact that Harry King's already having a go as they go to Paddock Hill Bend. Slots down the inside line, whoosh through into second position. King second, Summerfield third. Summerfield's coming back at the outside line up to Drew, but that places King's.
Wow, great stuff from King. King was so frustrated on the start line, being held back in the regulations. It will say you cannot have more than a car length to the car in front. They weren't in a crocodile, and King just did him, and now he's going to be fighting for this win. Brilliant stuff.
Summerfield now is going to have the attention of Mike Epps, then Finn Green, Nathan Heathcote, the top AM driver, and then Tom Barley, another newcomer. He's in the 47 car. Colin White getting stuck in as well, as is Lucky Carer in the 24, and he's having a look at the moment. Lucky Carer of the 47 car, Tom Barley, so he's well up. Lucky was up on the podium yesterday. He's been racing a McLaren as well, so you know, Ginetta attracting McLaren owners and drivers as well. It's that serious. I tell you what, Ginetta, another corny one for you. A cooler race series you wouldn't find.
Right, that's it, mate. I'm taking over lead comms here. What's going on with these grandad jokes? Back to the action. We are on it, and these guys are flat out. Colin White, he's just like a wasp that you can't get rid of. You look in your mirror and you're like, mate, will you go away? So is he going to get squatted, or is he going to take these two boys in front?
See whether he will. He's working his way through the field at the moment of Simon Rudd, so made very good progress from pretty much last on the grid. Colin White, we know he can do that. Barley up ahead in the red 47 car. Nathan Heathcote in the 50 is clear, but here comes Colin White, looks at the inside line. Is he going to have the slingshot through here in the CWS car? Good recovery after problems yesterday, not the happiest of starts for him, but goes through and passes Lucky Carer, enjoying his racing. Give a shout out to Lucky Carer and Lee Frost, now racing with Declan Jones Racing, brand new team. Deck not racing himself at the minute, but a very pristine looking team, very well prepared, very well presented. Good move for him.
Yeah, brilliant stuff from Deck Jones, doing a great job, knows what these GT4s are all about, runs in different championships as well. The only thing that lets him down is his trainers and his accent.
That's as bad as a granddad joke, mate.
And his beard as well, yeah, his beard lets him down.
And of course we'll see Declan Jones racing in the GT4s as well. Colin White now on the inside line here of Tom Barley. This is for amateur class positions, and White reading it well. We know Colin White's got bags of experience. I think Colin, the oldest driver in the championship now, 62 years of age, but a super move through on the inside.
He's 62. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Fair play.
He doesn't actually look it, does he?
No, he doesn't. Fair play. Colin White, again, 2 people he's just passing there. Proper pedalers, them boys he's just passed. Look at him in the background as well. These boys are on it.
Yeah, he's come from last on the grid in the amateur class up into second. He's got the British Rallycross champion now, the only man who's ahead of him in the AM class. And a shout out when we see Nathan Heathcote, the black and yellow car, one of the 2 black and yellow cars out there, had to get his licence up to speed, raced in the Mazda Championship as well last weekend, and won on his debut, I think a couple of weekends ago, so incredible run for him. So watch car number 11, Darren Lewis, back of this group, who was AM class winner, gets a joint AM class leader, and another Brit car endurance racer, ex-oval racer as well. I think he's raced in Honda Civic Cup as well. Talented driver. And now Finn Green. Isn't it really good to see? Surprised we haven't seen more youngsters move up. Adam Smalley, I know, was looking at a Super Cup budget, but he's going into challenge, and we'll see him at the guest rounds for the challenge. But Finn Green has come in, and good to see a junior making the move up. Finn doing very well at the minute.
Yeah, he's going well, isn't he? And look, I mean, it's such a big jump to come from juniors with no downforce and, you know, limited power for Finn Green in the 44 car to come in like Harry King has and deal with that power. Look at big wings on the front and the rear of those cars. It's a big downforce, and to have the commitment to come off the brakes and run big speed into apexes at the age he's at, I've got to give him his due. Like, and he's around some proper pedalers there, isn't he? He's behind Mike Letts. They're good guys.
Absolutely right. Epscourse Clio's last year, touring cars the year before, ex-Bart Renault racer as well, so bags of experience. And of course Finn Green in the same situation. We look back at the amateur class, having run similar situation Harry King was in last year, and I look down the inside line for Darren Lewis. He's going to be able to get the move done here on Tom Barley. It looks like he is as they come up in towards Druids, and he's through. Good move through on the inside line, so Barley is passed by Darren Lewis, the Brummie.
I've got to give them 2 boys their due then. That could have gone really wrong for them at the apex of paddock. You know, they were giving each other room. They went side by side all the way up to Druids. That was great stuff. But we got a black and white flag now for Michael Epps in the 37 car. He's in P4. And what's happened there is he's gone. I did see him going wide at Paddock Hill Bend, which he's gone over the pressure pads. Got his picture took by Jonathan Palmer on his camera phone, and he's there you go. 37, black and white flag. You get another one of them, mate, and you're in serious trouble. And
that is really clear, isn't it, that sign for these drivers? There is no excuse that they haven't seen it.
Yeah, there's not. I didn't see it, mate. Don't know what you're on about, mate. I've heard that a few times.
So back with Rhys Summerfield, so he's running in 3rd place. Still Will Burns is there, just a reminder, we've forgotten about dear old Will Burns back in the championship, running touring cars, of course. And I remember speaking to him in Rockingham the year that he was runner-up in the championship. He said, what do I do to come back and have another go at the championship? There he is, on the case, and out front. So Will didn't know what to do, whether to move into touring cars, which might have been a chance that he couldn't have got subsequently, or stay on and go for the title. He went to touring cars, had a go, and now he's back. He's super to see him back. Rob Boston Racing, delighted to see him. Harry King in 2nd position. Burns looking good here. This is beginning now to set us up for the season we're expecting to see.
Yeah, I think so. And you know, Will Burns, he's a lovely, lovely guy. And you know, that car looks absolutely brilliant. Rob Boston Racing doing a great job as usual. And I think, you know, British touring cars kind of like didn't teach him a lesson, but you know, he got in there, he did well, but you know, sometimes it's just better to stay with something, you know, because aero and, you know, big power rear-wheel drive cars can sometimes just, you know, fix your fancy, and you can get into GTs and be a full-on pro and get proper paid. It's great to see.
He's doing so well, but this amateur class battle is really shaping up very nicely. Lucky Era in the car coming towards us, 24, one of the Declan Jones cars up ahead of Darren Lewis. So these two dicing hard. He's really, I think, made a jump up this year.
I'm nodding my head at you, Richard, because Lucky Kera for me at the minute is the man of the race. He in that 24 car, that's brilliant. Oh, Finn down the inside, he's done it. Oh, and it's going to be a switchback.
Epps on the inside line, these two having a super battle here side by side. Epps has got the run up in towards Druids, he's going to hang on to it. This is for 4th position. Burns, King and Summerfield ahead of them. Summerfield just out of shot at the moment in the white, orange and green. So it's Epps in 4th place. Green learning about Super Cup in fine style this weekend. Then the 50 car, the top AM class car of Nathan Heathcote, who Ginetta must have really had to scratch their heads whether he was going to be a pro driver or an AM. But he's done rallycross, totally different discipline, isn't it, rallycross?
Yeah, totally, and that's the thing. You've got to realise that totally different disciplines. And take my hat off to him. That is a good effort, because I've done rallying and I've done a bit of rallycross, and when it's on gravel and loose, it's a bit different. And that 50 car is looking like it's being driven professionally by a proper circuit racer. He is doing a brilliant job. I'll tell you what, I think he could be in with a shout here, getting a couple more places, because he's biding his time, isn't he?
I think you're right, but from Ginetta's perspective, in terms of driver grading, second in class is Colin White. They're just coming down the hill. So Colin, we know, is always one of the top amateurs, and he's got to be in that class because of the age bracket. So it looks like Ginetta have done the job again of grading the drivers correctly.
Yeah, definitely. It's always a questionable thing, isn't it? Getting the classification right. But for me, it's looking all good. And Heathcote is just biding his time, and he's just seeing what he's got to do. There he is, the Wasp, flat out, Colin White.
Youngster, and he's a farmer, works on the farm. And arable farmers as well. They do, very busy time of year for them. But comes out, races, and as we said, actually to get his licence, Mazda MX-5 race, won it. First time out. Absolutely talented lad.
Yeah, it's nuts, isn't it? Black and white flag we've got for number 44, Finn Green.
44 Finn.
So 44 Finn, and it's not just Paddock Hill Bend, it's the exit of Graham Hill Bend as well, where we are now. So anywhere we see big green patches, they've usually got a Jonathan Palmer camera attached to them. And you know what? It works well, because I find that there's no way you can hide. If you run over it and on track limits, that's the way it is. So, everyone's got to deal with it.
Yeah, they have. They're very clear at the junior briefing yesterday that the white line was their bit. So anything on the tarmac inside of the white line is the drivers, outside is the officials. And they were saying 2 wheels over it is not okay in the junior briefing. They were quite clear on that.
Well, it's good. You've got to lay the law down, and there is different parts. And another black and white flag for 58. So we've got
Peter Bassel.
Yeah,
Peter Bassel, great character. Another new lad. He was sponsoring in the juniors, the Premier Racing Academy team last year. He's got involved. And racing in Britcar as well, but he'll be a little bit concerned about that, and maybe temporary driving, as we're back with the race leader, Will Burns, who is getting in towards the closing stages. It looks like we've potentially got 3 different race winners from the first 3 races of the year, because King is going to leave with the championship lead if things stay the way they are. Epsom Summerfield's not finished business, neither too is Finn Green, and Nathan Heathcote, as you said. Now here comes Finn Green, looking at the inside line of Mike Epps in the 37 team hard car. He's all over the back of him and piling the pressure on. What sort of momentum can he get up into Druids? He sees a gap, he goes through it, but Michael Epps has got it covered, and this is bringing Heathcote now into it as well. The amateur class car, remember the amateurs have the yellow sunstrip at the bottom, so you can see he's one of the AM-class drivers, mixing it here with the pro category, and Finn Green all over the back of Mike Epps. Epps not that far away from the podium with Reece Summerfield out front, and Colin White not that far behind those guys either. Superb Ginetta racing as ever.
Excellent, that was a great duel again. Finn braked late, dove to the inside, but didn't fire into Michael Epps, and Michael gave him a bit of room at the apex, and then he did the same to him down at Druids, and it's just great to see. I know they've just spaced out a bit now, but it's excellent to see these guys. But Heathcote in the 50, he's sitting there going, yeah, go on lads, I'll have a bit of this when it all goes wrong.
Remember, this is Heathcote's first Super Cup meeting, so as the season goes on, if he starts getting overall podiums and things like that, they're going to rethink about what class he's in, but he is going to develop as a driver. So expect a lot more from him as the season goes on. But Finn Green, remember when he rocked up in the paddock the first time with Fox Motorsport in the juniors? Little lad, he's taller than me now. Everyone's taller than me now, then, before you say it.
Especially Bluey. Here we go, look at this. We've got boys all over the place. They're having it large. And these, there's just anywhere you look in the Ginetta field, 14th place this is for, and these guys are going at it, hammer and tongs. It's great.
Paul Taylor in the car is back with us. The 53-year-old from Hertfordshire is there as well, coming under pressure from Tom Barley, the pro recovering. So it's pro chasing hard here in the IG car. Going to have a look down the inside line, all the way down the order. Taylor and Barley 14th and 15th position. Taylor running 7th in the amateur class car, but call me a lorry, hasn't got the stripe across the front to indicate the AM class, but good battle between these two. See what Barley can do. Goes to the outside line here. Paddock Hill Bend, maybe looking for the cutback on the inside as they come through Paddock Hill Bend. Not close enough to deal with Taylor at the moment. Carl Shield ahead of them, or as he goes around the outside line, a little bit of a clatter. They're getting stuck in.
Oh my word, that was amazing. This will be interesting down here. He's going to have to brake early, I reckon, to get underneath him for a switchback, which he tried to do. Can he time it right? Oh, I'll tell you what, this is going to be close going into Surtees. Here we go, I think he might have him here. Is he going to turn across in front of him? Yes, he is.
As we get side on, exactly 90 degrees on with the camera, we can see that Taylor just had that advantage, so he maintains it. Super battle between these two. Will Burns, meanwhile, cracks on. Still got the fastest lap way back on lap 5, and he's going to start to get involved in some traffic very soon. He's Will Burns. The gap is only 1.6 seconds back to the race leader as we watch Taylor and Barley still having this really good race. I think Taylor's got the measure of him at the moment. Pulls out an extra length or so as they come up Halewoods into Druids once again. Amateur class still led by Heathcote from White, and Darren Lewis is third position in class. The leaders are on their final lap now as Barley goes down the inside of Taylor into Graham Hill. Bang, they make contact, Paul. That's exactly as you called it earlier on in the race.
Yeah, it's not a place you look in your mirrors. It's such a short brake zone, and you turn left. It's just a place you don't usually pass, and I think that's what's caught the guys out. Oh, real shame. So great stuff from our guys getting the replay so quickly. Look, he shocks him down the inside in the 47, and I don't know whether or not Barley has actually had a bit of oversteer on the way in. I think he's locked up the front and drilled him, because originally I didn't think Taylor gave him enough room, but that's not brilliant, that is it.
Will Burns on his return to the Ginetta Super Cup, the Miller's Oils Ginetta Super Cup, takes a win. 3 different winners here this weekend. Harry King is going to take second, Rhys Summerfield third, then it's going to be Mike Epps. We've got, so here comes Summerfield and the group right behind them. Nathan Heathcote's going to win the AM class. There is Summerfield, there is Epps, there is Finn Green as well getting a result. Good start by Rhys Summerfield, who goes from 4th into 3rd.
Harry King now is having Michael Epps. He's done him. He's
up to 3rd already, isn't he? He's trying to get back and tags the back end. Carl Shield not having any luck this weekend. Problem there for Tom Hibbert. Standings, and nasty hit there. Harry King's already having a go as they go to Paddock Hill Bend. Slots down the inside line. Whoosh through into second position. King second, Summerfield third.
Finn's down the inside. He's done it. Oh, and it's going to be a switchback.
Epps on the inside line, these two having a super battle here side by side. Epps has got the run up in towards Druids, he's going to hang on to it. Will Burns on his return to the Ginetta Super Cup, the Miller's Oils Ginetta Super Cup, takes a win. 3 different winners here this weekend. Here's how they finish round 3 of the championship. Will Burns takes the win from Harry King and Rhys Summerfield. Mike Epps is 4th from Finn Green. Amateur class winner is Nathan Heathcote from Colin White and Darren Lewis. Then it was Simon Rudd and Lucky Kera completing the top 10. 11th goes to Carl Garnett. Good drive for him ahead of James Kell. Then Carl Shield from Paul Taylor and Lee Frost. Peter Basil in 16th position. Problems for Tom Barley, who finishes in 17th place, 2 laps down. Even less luck, sadly, for Jack Oliphant, Dan Kirby and Tom Hibbert.
I was a bit gutted about the safety car because I pulled at a good gap at the start, but I was just able to pull away and just keep the pace with I think it was a 2-second gap from Harry, but he was keeping me honest and I didn't want to make a mistake, so he would pounce on me because I know he's a good overtaker. But it was just a case of keeping my head down, and the guys at Rob Boston Racing gave me a really good setup, and it just shows what we can do in the dry.
It's great for the championship. I certainly had to work for that one, coming from 5th on the grid, so I had to do a couple of overtakes. But yeah, I know that Will Burns is very good, consistent from his endurance racing. So it's difficult to keep him honest. We might bridge the gap for about 2 seconds for I think it was 7 or 8 laps in the end. So yeah, really pleased with the weekend. Elite Motorsport done a fantastic job with the car, so I owe it all to them.
I mean, he's always very good on the brakes. I wasn't even going to try too hard to defend. I knew it was coming. You saw him through. I thought I'd make it clean and try and do the rest I can to keep the rest behind me.
Championship standings as we head to Donington look like this. 5-point lead for Harry King over Rhys Summerfield. Mike Epps is 3rd ahead of Will Burns and Simon Rudd in 5th position. The amateur class headed by Nathan Heathcote from Darren Lewis, then James Kell, Lucky Carer in 4th, his teammate Lee Frost in 5th position. After the break, single-seater action with round 3 of the F4 British Championship about to get underway. Don't go anywhere. Let's have a look at the grid for round 3 of the championship. Pole position, Sebastian Alvarez. Zane Maloney gets another go. He's on the front row. Carter Williams, the American, 3rd. Louis Foster, race 2 winner, is 4th from Joe Turney, the debut man with Carlin. Then Tommy Foster on the outside of row 3. Row 4, Bart Horston and Josh Skelton. Roberto Faria and Luke Browning on row 5. Row 6, completing the grid, Mariano Martinez and Rima Jafali. The lights are on. Zane Maloney starts for Carlin in 2nd place, gets a good start from the outside, but so too does the 4th place car, Louis Foster, who's going to have bags of confidence, and he's looking round the outside of Maloney and challenging for 3rd place. It's a super start. Carter Williams is in 2nd place. Carter's had a good start as well, but the pole position man Alvarez getting away, on board with Louis Foster from 4th. There is the 55. Williams trying to hold on the outside line. They intermingle their wheels, and it's Williams in 3rd place. A good recovery there from Zane Maloney in 2nd. Williams is next up from Louis Foster. Then it is Tommy Foster, no relation, the first of the Arden cars. Then Bart Horston, and then following that I think we've got Josh Skelton. Now remember, Luke Browning, who won race 1, this qualifying session that deemed the result of the grid for this race was the same one where Luke Browning qualified 10th. He had engine problems yesterday, so he has got a lot of work to do from the back of the field as we ride on board with race winner Louis Foster.
Yeah, as you can see, they break very late going into paddock. Look at Carter Williams having a bit of a moment on cold tyres as he goes through paddock. This allows Louis to get a bit of a run. Williams has got that one covered, but as they come into Druids, they break really late. They have to trail brake all the way into the corner. They bee it off, they make sure the car is rotated, come down the hill, brake extra late into Graham Hill, get the car moving on the way in, release it all the way out to the exit curb, and then down the back straight ready for Surtees. Absolutely flat out through here. You'll hear them, won't lift one bit, clip the inside curb, let it be pushed out to the exit, and then try and trail brake all the way in, get the car to rotate over the hill. It drops away now, you get loads of understeer. You can see him getting pushed out to that exit. You've got to be careful not to hit the gravel there. Back over to the inside, you can see they hook the white line down the pit straight into the dip, bring it over to the left, over the brow, really late braking, down 1 gear, try and get a little bit of rotation. You've got to keep the lock on here. You can see there, he's still turning, even at the bottom of the hill, because it just wants to drag you off the circuit. And then back to Druids, as you can see, Horston, Turney, Skelton there, Turney's down the inside, and Skelton, they've made contact.
Yeah, Skelton is off. That's Carter's teammates. They live in the same place, sharing digs at Stephen Hunter's place, believe it or not. Skelton has had a miserable weekend. He won't thank me for saying it, but he's capable of so much, Josh Skelton.
You can see he's battling there with Horston, and then Turney's had to go down the inside because there's a gap there, because Skelton went to the outside of Horston. But yeah, what a nightmare. Good to see him going again, but he's going to have to pick now, get the JHR boys to put a new front wing on it, and away he goes again. Look at the front tyres, you can see like little bits of rubber just on the inside that are just starting to degrade very slightly. As he turns in, you'll see the rubber move across the tyre, but it's such interesting stuff. The way these tyres work all weekend, they're very much an F3 tyre. That's all they use for F4, is just use simply take it from a Formula V car, bolt it onto an F4, which obviously got less power, less downforce, so they last a lot longer.
Yeah, you have to manage them though, don't you, over the course of the weekend, as you say. And Foster, but all of them driving for all, look at that, yeah, on that outside tyre, you really can see the wear on it, and that's going to impinge on his attempts to try and close down on Carter Williams in front of him. So Williams holding on at the moment, not getting as close as he would like to Maloney. Maloney just a couple of thousandths of a second quicker on that last lap, but Maloney getting relatively close here to Alvarez. So Alvarez the race leader, and Maloney hoping to try and pick up that cheque for £5,000 to be the first year driver, first year car racer to do it. The first year car driver is denoted by the yellow background on the number 31. We've got 3 rookies in this one. We've got Maloney, Joe Turney, Roberto Faria as well, and of course we'll have Alex Connor we were talking about in the earlier race today, will be joining us at Donington Park as well. So there'll be 4 of the rookies gunning for honours. But Alvarez now starting to come under a bit of pressure.
He is, I was just about to say, Maloney's actually starting to catch him. Even though Alvarez got fastest lap of the race on a 46.6, Maloney's done a 46.7, but on that last lap, it was a 46.7 for Maloney and a 46.8 for Alvarez. So he's definitely closing in. You won't really be able to see it at this point. You can see how much he closed in going into clearways. He's really strong on the brakes coming into clearways, but then he needs to get the exit to pick up that toe all the way down the finish line to try and make a move into paddock. I was saying earlier, you've got to plan these moves ahead. You've got to try and think about where you're strong and where you're going to make that move. So you've got to think about 2 or 3 corners then. As we see Faria now all over the back of Joe Turney. Joe Turney's obviously not got the most aerodynamic car out there, so he's got a big hole in that front nose cone, which is not going to be ideal. Faria's now chasing him down, and let's see if he's close enough to make a move soon.
Let's see if Faria can. Brazilian driver over here with his manager and coach. Always used to be exciting back in the traditional Formula 4 days, the Formula 4 1600 days, when the Brazilians came over to fly their trade, of course going back to the likes of Piquet and Senna, going back quite a few years. And Faria, another good talent, as you can see, running with the yellow background, so a first-year car driver, very much enjoying it here in Great Britain. I don't think enjoying the weather too much that we've had recently. Enjoying his racing and enjoying his racecraft, and spent a lot of time on media day talking to him about the previous Brazilian drivers that had made the trip over in years gone by. A good race on here between these two. Let's see whether Faria can close up. His teammate Martinez is the next one back, not having a great meeting, Martinez, at the moment. Then Ruben Jafali. But Turney looking pretty good at the moment. We'll see whether Turney does manage to sort himself out and come back for more rounds. I don't know what Carlin, though, they will seem to pick up some decent drivers.
Yeah, they do, yeah, and obviously they do the right amount of testing. They have a great car set up, so they've got some great guys that work there and make sure that everything works perfectly. But it would be such a shame if we don't have Turney back, because he's had such a good first race weekend. He should have had better results. As he has a lock-up because he comes into clearways, he's obviously pushing hard. Faria's got a better run through clearways. He might be a little bit closer to maybe make a move in the next corner, but not quite close enough, I don't think. But yeah, going back to Turney, he should have had much better results. He chewed up his wet tyres in race 2 as he was leading, and then just dropped back slightly, which is a real shame, because he's worked so hard to be on the grid. He's worked so hard being running at the front, and yeah, we want to see him back fighting for wins in the future.
Faria just focused on the back of the blue Carlin car. Really good to see Carlin back in the championship this year after their sabbatical last year. Faria getting closer and closer down through Graham Hill Bend, along Cooper Straight. What sort of run can he get here up into Surtees? He's not close enough to make a move at the moment, but certainly Turney will know that he's got the Brazilian right behind him. His first racing weekend for both of them. Now that's the question. The question is, will Turney know that he's down? He'll know that he's made that contact, because he hasn't got any sense to where we pick that up, but he'll feel it presumably.
Yeah, it might do. Yeah, I think it's actually quite a nice feeling when you get a bit of a hobble in the front of the car and you get some airflow. But it's definitely slowing him down, and yeah, he probably won't know it's there. But obviously that damage was from when him and Skelton had that coming together at this corner going into Druids. Coming into the meeting, just to paint the picture for those who haven't caught up with the story so far, Turney, the blue card there, was the outright pole setter for race number 1 in the meeting. So he was the fastest man at the outset of the meeting, which was didn't raise eyebrows because it was Carlin, but given his CV, yeah, multiple karting champion. Not what we expect from him, but to jump into a car, we weren't entirely surprised because of that CV. Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, he's only done a couple of days or 3 days, I think, in a F4 car, but yeah, his CV is so impressive. He's 17. He's won pretty much everything he's ever done in a go-kart. So yeah, it's not a surprise, but it's also still very impressive, because it's so different in a car. It's much bigger. You've got gears. You've obviously got a clutch to get it off the line as well. You've got to try and time everything right. You've got a bit more body roll in a car. Not much. You've got the spatial side of it as well. Exactly. It's a bigger vehicle to deal with and learn as well. It's longer. It's a bit wider. So yeah, I think he's done a great job. But look at this. Maloney now. He's catching Alvarez. Can Maloney try and get close enough to get a run down the back, down the straight, or the back straight? Because it's those 2 places that he needs to get good exit out clearways, good exit out Graham Hill, and then you can make a move for the next 2 corners. But he's not quite close. He's definitely fast enough. He's just not close enough just yet. Now Maloney, the chaser here, was the driver who was involved with contact with Luke Browning in race 2, so he will sense perhaps there's a little bit of karma in the offing here. A, that he can get a good result. B, maybe that he can get the win if he can close up. Faria
still busy chasing Turney here up in towards Druid. So very close battles. And you know what the onboards as well from Foster shows me, what this battle shows me, is how evenly matched the cars are. We know that, and how difficult it is to just pull in the smallest of gaps. That's before you think about overtaking.
Exactly, yeah. And the F4 and Ford have worked so hard in making sure these cars are equal now. They've obviously had problems over the years, just making sure that, you know, a few little differences in engines, but they've worked so hard now with Mount True to get it absolutely perfect. And you can see that. Just look at how close these lap times are that all these guys are doing.
Yeah, very, very close indeed. And Alvarez has done well here to soak up a lot of pressure. Remember, second-year driver, we were going to tip him and Josh Skelton as being the two returnees to the championship, as being ones to watch. Skelton hasn't had the rub of the green this weekend. Sure, that will come later on, but Alvarez has very much shown that he's got the pace and learned a great deal in his first year in the championship. Back on board with the fourth place car, the winner of race 2. Louis Foster's still there.
He's just turning all the way up the hill there. You can't ever straighten the wheel as you're braking for that corner. You've got to keep it loaded, keep the weight on the left-hand side, because you've got to try and get some sort of rotation at the top of the hill to get that clean exit. As you can see now, he comes over the, if you listen carefully, he's going so late. Just try and get the car moving around. You can see the steering wheel, it's moving all the time. He's having to keep that lock on as he comes out of the corner, because like I said, you've got to make sure you don't drop a wheel off the other side of the red and white painted bit. As you can see there, they're running all the way onto the red and white. If you run any further onto the green, that's when you start getting track limits.
So Faria, the 15-year-old, I remind you, from Brazil, and you can race in this championship from age 15 upwards, so it allows juniors in, but it's not predominantly a junior championship. We've got older drivers as well. The oldest in the field being Rima Jafali, 27, the Saudi Arabian First Lady driver, who scored points. So all the drivers have got points on the board this weekend, so hats off to all of them for doing that, as Faria continues to put the pressure on the 21 car. He's having a very good go. Joe Turney, 17-year-old, is racing for Carlin. Luke Browning still trying to close in on Bart Horston, the Aussie, in the Arden car. Two good races. This first weekend they're all getting to size each other up in race mode for the first time. They've all, of course, had the various tests, looked at each other through that, but this is the first weekend where they've got to race each other, apart from, obviously, Louis Foster and Luke Browning in juniors, and Alvarez and Skelton last year in his Formula. So Browning beginning to close up here a little bit. This is for 6th position. Horston holding on to this at the moment. Horston a little way away from Tommy Foster, who is in 5th. He's got his mirrors full of the man who's taken 2 checkers on the road right behind him, and will be keen to add more points to his tally. Let's see what Browning can do, starting to explore different lines. Yeah,
just imagine how different things would have been if he hadn't had that problem in qualifying. Obviously he qualified something. Every time he comes to the paddock there as well, you can just see the car four-wheel drifting through the paddock. That's impressive stuff. That's hard to make sure that you don't make a silly mistake there, but the car is obviously set up perfectly. He'll be using his tyres hard, but it doesn't seem to be holding him up at all. But yeah, going back to qualifying when he had that problem, I think things could have been very different, especially in those first few races. Obviously he did get the 2 wins, but dropped back to 3rd in the second one. But I think that without having to come through the field and overtake everyone, he would have actually easily won those races.
Still chasing hard. No, he's grateful for the support of Nick Barnett, who helped Billy Bunga, who was involved with Nick was involved with Billy before what happened at Donington Park. We're very grateful for that support.
I've just seen Billy. He's here this weekend, isn't he? He's down in the F4 assembly area, wishing these boys well. And
Formula 1 pundit now as well.
Yeah, I was saying to him as well, you look very tanned. Are you sure you've been working, or you've just been sunbathing?
Yeah, it's good to see him in it. That's the key thing. He's always here. He's encouraging everybody else, sharing his experiences, and what a great role model Bill is. There is Alvarez, though, still up front. He's developed that gap a little bit over Maloney again, and with 2 minutes to go, that's not a bad thing for the Mexican.
Yeah, he's controlling this race perfectly. Obviously, when Maloney caught him slightly, he thought, right, better get my head down now, and he's pulled away, and his lap times are slightly quicker than Maloney's at the minute. We've got a black and white flag for the car, 53, which is Tommy Foster. So obviously he's been exploring the track limit slightly, and he's got a black and white flag, which is just a warning, just to let him know, no more, because otherwise we'll give you a black flag. There's only a minute and a half left, so he should be safe.
So we've got a Mexican, a Barbadian, and an American. I'm sure there's a joke to go with that somewhere, but 1, 2 and 3 with the Brit, the Englishman, in 4th position. Oh, and wide, there goes the 21. Goodness me, Turney loses out to Faria. maybe that was the handling, and now closing up on him is Mariano Martinez. Haven't seen too much of Mariano, but he's getting stuck in now and senses he might get a bit of overtaking practice as well. Looks down the inside as he goes into Graham Hill Bend.
Yeah, it's a shame for Turney because he's done so well to keep Faria behind him, but then he just made that mistake going through paddock. He's made a few little mistakes this weekend, which is a real shame because he's definitely got the speed, but that's why I want to see about. Let's just see it again. He's obviously got Faria now. Faria then went down the inside. Didn't they make any contact? I don't think they did. He just got the marbles, look. There's just no grip out there at all. He's tried to turn in, got on the slippery part of the circuit, loses all the grip because of all the dirt and the bits of rubber that have come off the tyres, and dragged him off the circuit into the gravel. But yeah, luckily got away with it. But look at this, Browning on the last lap. Oh no, we might have another lap actually. Browning all over the back of Horston. Can he now get a run into Clearway? Surtees is flat out, so you can't really make a move there, but you can see Horston looking in his mirrors, making sure that he's got this one covered. Flat out through Surtees. Browning likes it through here. Obviously he'll be more careful than he was on the last lap of the last race, but we're probably going to get one more lap here.
Yeah, the leaders are a little bit further down the road, Phil, aren't they? But this is a good battle. You sense that Browning is turning up the wick here, building the momentum and just thinking ahead about what he can do. Look at Horston across, keeps it defensive. You won't want to go too wide for the marbles, as you described rightly, that affected Turney. So Browning chasing him hard. What can he do now as they go through Halewood's wider line out of paddock? Can he find a gap on the inside?
Looks like Horston's got that one covered again as he comes out of paddock, keeps it tight, then gets it to the inside of Druids. As you can see, he's driving the car in the middle of the circuit at the minute, so it's leaving nowhere for Browning to go. So he's going to have to leave it to the last corner again on the last lap. Is he going to be brave enough to throw it down the inside, or is Horston going to keep it nice and tight after Surtees? They come through the Surtees, and then Alvarez now takes the win, along with Maloney in second.
Alvarez the winner. Maloney in second position. Carter Williams is going to have a maiden podium in third place. Here is that battle we were looking at. Horston coming under pressure here from Luke Browning, who comes out of the slipstream. Is he going to do it virtually side by side at the flag? But it was Horston who took sixth position from Luke Browning in seventh. Eighth position will go to Roberto Faria from Joe Turney, then Mariano Martinez in 10th place. That completes the race finishers, but it's a maiden win for Sebastian Alvarez. His best result last year was 6th place at Snetterton, and that's what the second year in F4 is all about. Using the experience from the previous season, building your confidence, getting to grips with the car. He knows the circuits. Now comes from Mexico City, so prior to last year, no experience of these circuits. Sure, you could go on a simulator, but there's no real alternative for getting out there on tarmac for real. Zane Maloney starts for Carlin in second place, gets a good start from the outside, but so too does the 4th place car, Louis Foster, who's going to have bags of confidence, and he's looking around the outside of Maloney and challenging for 3rd place. It's the superstar, Carter Williams is in 2nd place. There is the 55, Williams trying to hold on the outside line. They intermingle their wheels, and it's Williams in 3rd place. Skelton has had a miserable weekend.
Alvarez now takes the win, along with Maloney in second.
Alvarez the winner. Maloney in second position. Horston coming under pressure here from Luke Browning, who comes out of the slipstream. Is he going to do it virtually side by side at the flag? Here's the result of round 3. Alvarez takes the win. Maloney second. Carter Williams first podium for him in 3rd place from Louis Foster. Tommy Foster in 5th from Bart Horston and Luke Browning. Roberto Faria in 8th from Joe Turney. The point scorers completed by Mariano Martinez. 11th position, final finisher, Rima Jafali. Josh Skelton will come and fight again at Donington Park for JHR and of course for more points.
Well, I had a good start, and then I just looked at my mirrors and saw like Zane's pace and like just pushed for like how much I needed to push.
Obviously Luke Browning has been the man to beat, although didn't go quite his way in the middle race. He thought he'd won it and then it was just taken away from him. But you managed obviously to keep him back together with everybody else.
I think he was quite strong in the rain, but I'm not sure in the dry. I think Maloney was quite strong in the rain and dry, so thankfully I kept everybody behind me.
Struggled a little bit on Friday. Really only had we had 2 sets of tires, but for the day, so we struggled a little bit compared to the other guys have a lot of set of tires. So yeah, and then free practice 2 went in the gravel a little bit, so it hampered our best time. But yeah, so woke up qualified on Saturday morning. Good qualifying. I bagged P4 and P3. Struggled a little bit in the wet on race 1. We made a decision on setup. Didn't really work for Josh and I. Made it better this morning when it was raining. Still could make it. Still had a few things to find, but yeah, luckily it was dry in race 3 and we showed our pace with bagged the podium.
The championship standings as we leave Brands Hatch and head to our second event of the season look like this. It's Alvarez, as we predicted, that leads the championship. He is 15 points clear of Luke Browning. Louis Foster is third. Zane Maloney, top rookie, is in fourth place from Carter Williams. Tommy Foster, 6th from Joe Turney. Bart Horston, 8th from Roberto Faria. And Mariano Martinez completing the top 10. Well, that's the end of our first event for Motorsport UK in 2019. 9 more events to go, which are going to be full of action-packed racing. The supporters, drivers, teams, and indeed ourselves packing up and heading to Donington Park, where I hope you'll join us next time. Thanks for watching.